Life was hard. I used to spin yarn for a neighbor in my husband's village. That way we could have food.
Murshida Begum, mother of two, lives in the village of Bromandi Arai Hazar in central Bangladesh.
One day, my husband became angry and broke my spinning wheel. I was frightened and I hid at my mother-in-law's, but he found me and beat me. Then he divorced me. I didn't have any money. What could I do? I worked for others just for a little food to eat.
Over 100,000 people become part of the world economy every day. Only 20,000 find jobs. The rest, like Murshida Begum, must fend for themselves. The result is an overwhelming need that traditional development programs have not been able to meet.
We have 1.3 billion people on the planet who don't eat enough every day.
A new, dramatically different strategy has emerged in countries like Bangladesh and Bolivia. It is called microcredit. It consists of loaning money to people to create their own employment.
Money is important, that's why credit is important. Money is control over resources. People are poor because they don't have control over resources. They don't have resources to work with.
You know, you speak to an average Bolivian, and if you start speaking of issues of poverty or issues under development, the first things they will be able to tell you, it'll come up that before the first minute of the conversation is that they lack working capital.
In the next hour, we'll explore microcredit in 4 very different places. We'll ask, how can tiny loans be so important? To people, to families, to our world.
I have 2 children. My brother took us away when my husband divorced me. I came back to my father's house. I was afraid because my 2 children were with me.
Like most women in Bangladesh, Murshida's life has been governed by a code of conduct known as purdah. Women are largely confined to their homesteads and dependent on men.
I don't think I would like to be a typical Bangladeshi woman in a typical village. When you're born, your parents most often would rather have had a son. Then you don't receive the same kind of attention that you would if you were a boy. Then if you go to school, you can only go most often up to a certain age. When you're past puberty, then people start making comments about you if you start walking on the village roads. So you get married off, you go to your in-laws' village, and a new bride has almost no say. It's only as a woman grows older that she has more authority. That's a long time to have to wait.
But for Sef's borrowers, life remains difficult. Apartheid may be over, but its legacy continues. Access to land remains limited. 600,000 people are crowded onto tiny plots within a 30-mile radius of CEF's headquarters. Jobs are scarce. Men move to large cities in search of work, leaving women and children behind. The cities are costly, so the men live in former townships like Soweto, often several to a room. Then each day, they travel into the cities to work. Because of distance and lack of money, the men seldom travel home, sometimes only once or twice a year.
There are very few people in South Africa, especially in rural areas, who've experienced what is seen in the West as a normal family life with father, mother who are there every day at home. Apartheid was hardest on women